very much, Stacy. I am 71 years old. Yeah, from the insurrection capital of America, Washington, D.C. I love Washington, except it's getting so expensive. You wouldn't believe what it costs these days to buy a politician. And they're not worth it. You know, both D.C. and Georgia have politicians that tweeted the Jews control the weather. Come on. We haven't been able to control the weather since we left Egypt the first time. And let me clue you in on a little secret. If we really had that superpower, we'd just keep Manhattan at a toasty 78 degrees. Jews and misery, Jews and misery, we go together throughout our history. We just love being down. We get sadder by the hour. And can you blame us? Throughout history, we have been blamed for having power we don't have. We don't control the banks, sir. We never did. We don't control Hollywood. We never did. And please, oh God, we did not sink the Titanic. That was an iceberg, not a Goldberg. No relation. We are also miserable because we all have Jewish mothers that are never satisfied. I got into law school. I thought my mom would be ecstatic. Boy, was I wrong. You would have thought I'd become a Christian. Mark! A lawyer? I never thought one of mine would become one of those. What? You couldn't go to medical school? No, Ma, I couldn't! And the current generation's no better. My niece Mindy came up to me last week. Uncle Mark, I am so miserable. My husband leaving, he doesn't let me be me. I should divorce the putz, I know. But then who would I blame for being so miserable? So Jews have been miserable so much through history. I'm wondering, if you're not miserable, can you truly be Jewish? I mean, Moses was famously miserable. Rondi Dangerfield made a career out of being miserable. And me? Keeping kosher didn't make me miserable enough. So I cut out gluten. But don't think we are all the same. Because one thing is definitely true. Jews cannot agree on anything. If you want 3 opinions? Ask 2 Jews. You want 5 opinions? Ask a rabbi. One thing we do agree on, though, is we love our grandchildren. I know I do. And being a grandparent is so much easier than being a parent. When I was a parent, 24/7, I was responsible for my kids. And I never knew what I was going to end up with. As a grandparent, I get them maybe 2-3 hours. The worst thing I get is a dirty diaper, which my wife changes. And no one ever blames the grandparents when the grandkids screw up. Well, except for the parents. It's summer. Fresh, wholesome, healthful food. No preservatives. That goes bad so quickly. Sometimes I kind of miss preservatives. I buy a loaf of bread. 2 days later, sawdust. I gotta buy another one. I buy a nice avocado. 3 days later, mush. I gotta buy another one. I buy a nice, fresh fish. And I forget it in the fridge for a couple of weeks. I gotta buy a whole new refrigerator. My friend Walter here really thinks that by eating healthful food and exercising, that he's gonna be able to avoid being old and decrepit. Walter, you're kidding yourself. I don't care how much kale you jam down that throat. I don't care how much pickleball you play. You got 2 choices in this life. Either die young, or you live long and fester. Hey, I don't like the fact that just because I'm over 70, people think I'm old. Look, I realize it, Then a young man at 22 dreams of having a mistress who's young and sexy and will dress up like a nurse. And an old man at 92, not saying you are, sir, dreams of having a mistress who's an actual nurse. The young man really wants his mistress to knock his socks off. The old man, he'd be perfectly happy if she just put them back on. Look, old age is an attitude, not a number. And I'm not old. I walk my dog every day, twice a day, for 2 hours. All right, it should only be an hour and a half, but that dog stops every 10 minutes so I can pee. I'm Mark Palchik. Thank you very much for laughing.